Hello, I'm Eric.
And I'm Melissa.
And today we are going to talk about a new system that I've started to collect for.
Yes, it was new to me that we were even doing this video.
So, this is actually, it's an old system.
Okay.
Many of you know I am a Sega Master System fan, and some of you thought the Sega Genesis was the first system, and I, of course, knew the Sega Master System was the first system, but that's not even true. There was one that came even before that, in Japan only, called the SG-1000. It was a contemporary, it was released on the same day as the Famicom, which is the Nintendo NES in Japan. 1983, and it is about as powerful as a ColecoVision, apparently. And given my Sega fandom, I suppose, it was only a matter of time before I started looking at the SG-1000.
Okay.
So
now, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a new tab in the spreadsheet for this new collection?
No, there isn't, because that's a lot of work. So I added it. I added it as a section under the Sega Master System, and I'll tell you why. Because it turns out the Sega Master System is backward compatible with the SG-1000. So everything on the SG-1000 you can play on the Master System, which is actually a good segue into this thing. This is not an SG-1000. It is the Sega Mark III, which is the original version of the original version of the Master System in Japan. So this is a Sega Master System. It doesn't have the FM sound, but it is completely compatible with the SG-1000. And I've had my eye on one of these for a long time. And the reason I'm even showing this is because I can use this to play my SG-1000 games, because it's completely backward compatible. I thought about getting an SG-1000, but I wanted to go with the Mark III first. So now that I have this, I can play a bunch of SG-1000 games. And actually it turns out that the analog Mega SG FPGA based system can also play them. So, but it's nice to have the actual Japanese console. Maybe someday I'll get an SG-1000 console, but I hear they're kind of expensive. But I guess without expos and all kinds of stuff, I started looking at some imports on eBay and kind of went nuts with it. And so over the this has actually been going on since January.
Yeah, okay, now I'm like remembering you getting this stuff.
I imported the Miracle Warriors game, and along with it I got an SG-1000 game, and then I decided I'm going to keep going with the SG-1000.
I mean, the ball was rolling.
The ball was rolling.
The train was going out of the station, just keep going.
So yeah, it's comparable. Like I said, it came out the same day as the Famicom. It's comparable to a ColecoVision. It's hard to say that these games are a lot of fun, but and I'll know. One other thing that got me into this was I saw our friend Owazrim, who was streaming some SG-1000 games during the Cartridge Club charity stream in December. So that was the seed of what ended up happening. And we'll talk about Owazrim again soon. So I have imported a bunch of games. I'm starting my collection. There are, I think, 14 games here. I'm going to mention this little piece of hardware I bought, which it turns out I don't need, because the Mark III has a card adapter on it, but the original SG-1000 didn't. This is a card catcher. It is a device that allows you to play the Sega Cards on an SG-1000 through the cartridge port. And so I bought one, and I love this Japanese stuff. This box is no bigger than it needs to be. There is no extra wasted space in this box.
There's no big styrofoam excess.
That is the card catcher. Okay, so the first game I imported...
Now, hold on. You said you have like 14 here.
I have 14, I think.
Do you know how many are in the library?
No, 80 or 90, something like that. There's a lot. They originally came on cartridges, which we'll talk about. I started going for the card versions because they had the cards, Sega had the cards in the US for the Sega Master System, but apparently they really went crazy with the cards when they were doing the SG-1000. There were a lot of cards for them. And so one of the games that I got first, which is one of the ones that Owazrim was streaming, and one that I grew up with playing, is Choplifter. And this is much more like the Apple II version. And the ColecoVision version and the Atari 5200 version, all versions that I've recently acquired. When I saw there was an SG-1000 version and I was going to be importing anyway, I threw this in the bundle. So this is not as good as the Sega Master System version. It looks much more like the original Apple version, but it's great. I love it. It comes in these little booklets, little manual, little card, just like the Sega cards. Yeah. So this was the first one I added.
Okay.
And this was the only one I had for a while. And then I got the bug again. And I'm just going to leave this. And I went and ordered another set of 4 through eBay. And I bundled them all up, and then I sent the guy an offer, you know, knocking like 20% off the price of everything. And I bundled it all, and he accepted it. And that's when I got the card catcher. And I also got Bank Panic. Now, the problem with these games is they're all, this is full on Japanese.
Yes.
I mean, there might be some English text in them. I know this game got an English release for the Master System. I think it did. Not a US release. I don't actually know how to play this game. It looks like, what does it look like? It looks like, I don't know. I think it's like a shooter, but with a cursor. You use a cursor to aim. It's not like a light gun game. But I know, like I said, I know there's another version of this. I think it came out in Europe for the Master System. So Bank Panic. And then I also got Champion. This is Championship Load Runner, which Load Runner is another Apple II game.
Yeah.
So these are games from about that era. There's a regular version of Load Runner, and then there's the Championship version, and the Championship version is hard, dirt. And yeah, I could not get past the first stage.
Well, I'm like looking at this little map in the back, and I'm like, yikes.
Yeah, this is like, I should have, there's the original version, which is just Load Runner. That was probably the version to get. But this is in really good shape. So I thought it'd be cool to have a Load Runner game for the SG-1000. Oh, and then, of course, I had been very interested in Hang On for the Master System. It's one of the arcade games, one of the reasons why I wanted to get a Master System. So when I found out there was a Hang On 2, I said, well, I'm going to get Hang On 2. Now, it turns out Hang On 2 is not as good as Hang on the Master System. The graphics aren't quite as good. The music is the same, although in this game, the music plays throughout the game, whereas in the Master System version, there's no music during the game. So that's kind of a nice feature. But other than that, the controls are really, really slippery, and the graphics aren't as good. But really wanted to get Hang On 2 added to the collection, just maybe for historical purposes. And then this one is called Sokoban. Sokoban. This is a box puzzle pushing game. We recently got Push It or Shove It for the Genesis. It's the same game, or the same kind of game.
Okay.
The idea is to push boxes into their designated areas, and you can often get them stuck. If you get them against a wall or against a corner, that's the end. You're not moving them. So you gotta do it in the right order. And I've actually been having a lot of fun with this. I've been playing this one. This one might be the one I've played the most. Because I understand
This one also says it's for the Sega Mark III.
Yeah, they're all compatible.
I know, but
They're all
like
compatible.
some of the, this is the first one I saw.
This one says it.
Too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they all say it. Yeah, so the thing about these I'll mention is that these card games would be compatible with US Sega Master Systems, except that the US Sega Master Systems have the BIOS boot screen, and it looks for a particular checksum at a certain address in the ROM, and none of the import Japanese games have that checksum, so it'll always fail with a software error. If it hadn't been for that BIOS checksum check, all of these games you could plug in, and the card games anyway, I think, you could plug in and play on a US Master System. The cartridges are physically different size, but the cards would have worked if they hadn't put a software. It's basically a software lockout. All right, so these are the original 5 cards I had. One I ordered one time from Japan, and then I ordered 4 more from Japan in another bundle. And then, as I mentioned before, I got talking to our friend Owazrim. Now, he is a huge collector and has a huge collection of import and Master System games. So big that he has duplicates of imports. And so I contacted him. I said, hey, some time ago we talked about maybe doing some kind of a trade, some kind of a purchase of some of your duplicates. And so we arranged a thing, and he hooked me up with 9 more SG-1000 games, 3 cartridges and 6 more cards. And truth be told, I focused on the cards because look at this. I love this. You know, you collect these little cards; they all stack up nice. Look at that.
Look at that.
It's beautiful. So I got 6 more games from him, and he cut me. He cut me I got a really nice deal. I'm really happy with this. So we're going to start with, okay, so at first I was just going to go for the ones I really wanted, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to get everything he's got that is complete and in pretty good shape. So I got Champion Golf. Now, I'm not a huge golf, definitely not a video game golf person, although I do buy them. I do like the Mario Golf, or at least the idea of Mario Golf games, though I never play them. This is nothing like Great Golf. Apparently, you know, the Sega Master System has the Great line of sports. So apparently the SG-1000 had the Champion line. A lot of them are Champion. This plays very much different than Great Golf.
Okay.
Golf. Okay. Another Champion game. Can you guess what this one is?
I was going to ask if that was Champion Hockey.
Champion Ice Hockey.
Yeah.
Another one. So I just grabbed these. You know, I gave him an offer for the sports games, and he accepted that. So it's cool to have them in the collection. You know, what the heck? Maybe maybe I'll get them all. I doubt it. All right, here's one that I was actually seeking out only because of the name, I guess. Dragon Wang. This is Dragon Wang. This is a side-scrolling, martial arts game?
Beat 'em up thing?
Beat 'em up? Yeah. I think it's like I don't know, but I haven't played very much of this. I think it might be like Kung Fu Kid. You just move right and left and attack enemies and make your way through the area. But when I saw that he had it, and a lot of SG-1000 videos on YouTube talk about Dragon Wang, so I'm like, I gotta get Dragon Wang. I got that.
You all talk about the Dragon Wang?
Yes. Okay, here's another one, a very famous one that I was seeking out. This is Ninja Princess. This game came out, or a sequel, or a follow-on, or a spiritual successor came out for the Master System called The Ninja, which is a really good game, and it features a male protagonist. This is called Ninja Princess, and it's the same kind of game with simpler graphics, but it features a female protagonist. And so this is another game that people talk about a lot when they talk about the SG-1000. So I decided, since Owazrim had it, I would grab it from it.
This looks like the same guy from that block pusher.
And that's the reason why you're right. This is called Rockin' Bolt, which is another kind of puzzle game. I don't know how this game works. There's moving platforms, and apparently you can bolt them down. But I don't know if the point is just to bolt them down, or if it's to do something, or in a minimum amount of time. It's some kind of puzzle game. I'm looking forward to playing this more and checking out how this works. But here's the Sobukoban. And so you can see, maybe I'll put a picture of them up. They're similar. So yeah, Rockin' Bolt. This is from Activision. This is an Activision game for a Japanese game system. And then this might be the creme de la creme, the big heavy hitter for this series, or this collection right now, the Black Onyx. This is some kind of dungeon crawling RPG. This game apparently is so, I don't know, uncommon. We couldn't find its market price. So he just quoted a figure, which I was happy with, and I'm really glad to have this because, first of all, it's in really good shape. But I think it's one of the more sought after SG-1000 games, or at least I think it is. I don't know. But I have no idea how to play this. It's text heavy. The graphics are really kind of crude. I don't have any idea how to play this, but I'm looking forward to exploring it and seeing how it can be, what it's like. But apparently it came out for a number of early systems, including the SG-1000. So really glad to have it. The Black Onyx. I think it's one of the last SG-1000 games ever made, if not the last. So those are all of the cards, right? And they all stack up so nice. And then I was going to just focus on cards. Yeah.
Well, this one is interesting because it has English on it.
I don't think the game is in English. This picture on the back says English, but I don't know if it's in English. I'll see. The menus, the character creation thing certainly isn't.
Okay.
All right,
Sorry.
and then I decided I'd grab some cartridges. Why not? He had a few that were complete. What's that one? You want to talk about that?
No, well, this one, it says Flicky.
4,800 yen. 4,800 yen. I don't know the exact translation. Certainly back
I think
conversion.
It's 43.
Back in
My
1980.
old eyes can't tell. It's
Well,
43.
It's 43?
Yeah, look, you can see there's no...
Okay, so it's about a yen a penny. At least it was in 1996 when I was in Japan. It was a little. I think it was like 110 yen to $1 or something. So this is going to be about a $43 game. $40, $45, $48 game. Okay, so at the time. So Flicky, this game is a classic, Sega classic. It's been released on, I guess, the SG-1000. There might be a Master System version. I think there's a Genesis version. So I grabbed it because it's Flicky. I've heard of it so many times, and because it was complete, and it's a cartridge. It's an SG-1000 cartridge, a black cartridge. Okay, let's do this one last. Let's do this one.
Okay.
So do that one. What's that one?
Zack Song.
Zack Song.
I've heard of this.
Another famous Sega arcade game, and which is why I grabbed it. Again, Oz had it complete, and it's Zack Song. It's a pretty good conversion of it, too. I should compare it to the ColecoVision version. I was playing that the other day. It's pretty good. I like it. All right, and then the main cartridge I wanted to get is famous, also on the SG-1000. Yeah,
it's called Girl's Garden.
Girl's Garden. I think Yuji Naka, the guy who did Sonic the Hedgehog, his very first game.
Oh.
And I think that's its only real claim to fame. I don't know if it's any good or not, but again, when I saw that Oz had Girl's Garden and the Black Onyx and Ninja Princess and a couple others, I was like, yeah, I'll get all of these. And so,
cool.
So yeah, so this will work on the Mark III, the Japanese Mark III. It'll work on an analog Mega SG with the cartridge adapters, which I think I recently heard they have back on sale again. So good timing there. I think I just got an email saying that. So if you guys are interested in the SG-1000, that system can play it, and the cartridge adapters are available. So I'm very excited about collecting for the SG-1000. I now have 14 games, which is about the size of our original Sega Master System library when we were growing up, back before Pawn Shop.
You just need to find Rick V.
I know. I need my Oz might be my Rick V guy. I got 9 games. So yeah, so that's the SG-1000, and a system that was never released in the United States. Sega's actual first system came out the same day as the Famicom, and I don't know, lots of games there to learn about and explore, and even some in my collection that I'm going to spend some more time with and learn about.
Cool.
So we will see. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen these at any expos or anything. I've seen some Mark III. I've seen some import Mark IIIs, but not SG-1000. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
So we are kicking off our SG-1000 collection, and we'll see. I don't know where it'll go, but it's been fun collecting it so far.
Cool.
All right.
All right. If you enjoyed the video, like us and subscribe.